Okay, so today we're going to be talking about The Witcher, starting with the Netflix series, which came out this year, earlier this year, and it captured fantasy in a good way, and it brought Witcher to the mainstream, which is kind of like a big deal now. Now that people have seen The Witcher, people are trying to ask about The Witcher 3, which was released in 2015. So many people, there was so much hype when it came down to The Witcher 3 coming out. This is for surely CD Projekt Red's like coming out party in a way when it comes to an RPG that's going to come out to the West, because The Witcher 1 and 2 were stranded on the PC and not many people played them, and it was a while ago. So when The Witcher TV show came out, it felt like, okay, for me, I was like, okay, I'm ready to jump into The Witcher 3 again. I am going to be spoiling stuff in this video for The Witcher 3 when it comes to story, when it comes to gameplay, mostly the story, because that is the strongest aspect that The Witcher brings to the table itself. So The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was released in 2015 by CD Projekt Red. This is like one of my first times delving into an RPG, kind of like I guess it's an Eastern developer RPG for the first time. So I'm more of an MMO guy, so I play MMOs, and I try to finish as much as I possibly can in an RPG that I play. And I got into the hype. I bought it for PS4, and I was like, all right, let's go. I'm hyped for this. I'm ready to sink some time into this game. Now, I have really bad OCD when it comes to RPGs, and I saw what the map was. I got about 30 hours into the game. I got through Velen and Novigrad, and this is pretty much what I saw when I went and zoomed out of the map with all the question marks. And in my mind...
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
The year is now 2020, and I watched the TV show on Netflix and was ready to jump back on it. So, got the game for PC, and man, CD Projekt Red has outdone themselves with the masterful crafting of the world that they've created. The juxtaposition from Velen to Novigrad, which is just so downtrodden, it feels like it's hopeless from every corner you run around the cities. Just the drunks, there's so many beggars on the streets, to Skellige, say, which has great mountain views. You can see the mountains from far away. You go on mountaintops to find, say, a point of power or anything like that, and you can just see the vistas and just how beautiful this game, how beautiful CD Projekt Red has realized the world of The Witcher, and it's so lived in and has so much history to it. So the weakest aspect of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is the combat, in my opinion. It might be a hot take, but in my opinion, that is the weakest thing about the game. I went for a full-on just melee combat build, which might have been my mistake of not putting into alchemy or putting it into signs, which adds a whole different aspect to the combat itself. But the combat coming from 5 years later, from the game being released in 2015, 2020, I feel like it doesn't age well with it. Just taking down enemies, like say with shields, it's so tough to break down the shields without using this. Like even if you're using signs, sometimes it's just so difficult to break down the shields. Try to take them out of the enemy's hands, for example. Just taking on spiders in the clip here, it can get very frustrating. The combat, it doesn't feel as fluid, but man, those visceral attacks are beautiful. Like they feel so satisfying when you can get those done. Having the option of doing other builds is really nice. If you want to do for another playthrough, go for a whole alchemy build, go for a whole sign build, or even augment those into your build that you're currently doing, is a great way to make a player play the game again, play in a different style, just like how other people play Dark Souls games using pyromancy only, that kind of type thing. It's a good way to give a player a little bit more motivation to do that. And the gear itself, I love the upgrading system in this game, that it gives you the gear changes as you start upgrading it to a higher tier, which is a really cool concept, and it is something that I wanted to pursue to the next tier once I got to the appropriate level itself. So let's talk about the Witcher 3 story, which is the strongest aspect of this game, in my opinion. It revolves around finding a girl named Ciri who has magical abilities that gives her the capability of warping through time and space, which, as you can tell, would be a huge bonus to a person that would kidnap her, which was what the Wild Hunt wants to do. They want to use her for their own good, so they can take over different worlds and teleport into them and then take them over. It's the stories that this game tells are so special, and sometimes even the side quests are just done so well. So the Baron story, for example, the Red Baron who has taken over Velen, his story is so heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, but at the same time you hate him. You don't like. It makes you want to feel sorry for him, but at the same time you're just like, oh man, you are not a good human. You're not a good human being. You are not a good human being. He came back as a war hero, got drunk a lot, and his wife ended up having a miscarriage because of him, and he gets haunted by this moment, like over and over and over. And his daughter and his wife left. They left him, just completely left him. And you can't, like, you just feel so like you deserve this, but at the same time, just the way that he is portrayed, the way that he's acted, you kind of feel a little sorry for him at the same time. It was the first time in this game that it just hit me where I think the storytelling in this game is going to be something special. Let's talk about the characters in The Witcher 3. There are a litany of characters in this game, and man, are they engaging. I knew about Yennefer coming from the show, but that was just the beginning of the different character designs and different character roles that everybody plays in this game. From Vesemir, who trained you as the Witcher, to the Kingdom of Skellige with Bran as the leader. And then going into Novigrad, the underbelly of Novigrad, and finding the criminal lord Dijkstra. All these characters, they're so captivating. They have their own quest lines intertwined with the main story, and how they all encompass the characters and bring them all together is just perfect. It's perfect. Kira, for example, is the mage who you meet in your travels you have history with. I don't know the history personally because I never played the other Witcher games, and I know it's not just her. We have Triss, we have a bunch of other characters that I don't have any history with, but doing the quest with her and going on this adventure, you start caring for these characters. You start caring for her. You sympathize with her, why she's in Velen, what she's doing there, and what her plans are afterwards. Watching the show really helped with the Wishes questline with Yennefer. Watching the show, I didn't know. I wanted closure. I wanted closure to know what the last wish was. And this game gave me that closure. It gave me what that last wish was and what it actually meant with the relationship between Yennefer and Geralt. There are two different options you can make in there depending on what you want to do with Yennefer, but if you do end up being with her, it drastically changes how the end of the game is going to play out. If you go the other way, it goes the other way on the endings, and it's just a very satisfying way that they concluded that entire storyline and that quote-unquote romance that Geralt and Yennefer have in the show, plus in the Witcher game series. All right, let's talk about the DLC, the first DLC for The Witcher 3, which is called The Hearts of Stone. I really didn't know what to expect from this DLC. Usually DLCs aren't meaty and they're over fairly quickly, but this DLC revolves around Gaunter O'Dim, who makes deals with people to take their souls. He's also known as the Man of Glass or the Master of Mirrors, and he creates pacts with people in exchange for their souls, being able to control time at a matter of snapping his fingers kind of type thing, or clapping his hands, which you see in the DLC quite a bit. So pretty much the gist of the story is you have to free Olgard's, a bandit, his soul from O'Dim. You get his tragic story going to his house in the past starring his wife and what they went through as in a marriage, what the family was like, and you see all these different cutscenes with them and how their relationship started to fall apart due to money, the occult, the family on the wife's side. At the end of it, the DLC is a little forgettable because you're treading the same kind of areas. You're not really going anywhere new. You're going to like I said, all familiar places. Even getting rid of Odim in the end, it wasn't that great of an ending for that story. You get to free his soul, and he gives you his sword, which is named after his wife, Iris. Okay, Blood and Wine. This is what a DLC should be like. Going from a downtrodden place like Velen and Novigrad to Tucson, a bright, colorful area that brings so much content. I love spending every moment in this area. From the very first quest, following a night around on horseback, give you an idea what this world looks like, what this area looks like, where you're going to be spending the next 25 to even 30 hours of game time. This area also introduces one of the main characters of Blood and Wine, the Queen of Tucson. She is probably one of my favorite characters in this entire game. She's amazingly written, she's acted very well, and she embodies what Tucson is as a nation. The nation of principles and honor and wine. Oh man, they take wine very, very seriously, as it should be. When you go to the castle where the queen is, you go onto a balcony and all you see are vineyards. Wherever you look, there's a vineyard, way in the distance. It's a complex story about the queen's sister. That is what is at the forefront of this expansion. It shows her history coming back and haunting her, as her sister was casted away by her family, and she starts to plot her revenge against her own sister. Introducing her right off the bat pretty much set a tone, a very good tone for the expansion, and showed like a little snippet of what kind of quality of storytelling that was going to happen in this expansion. And in my opinion, CD Projekt Red nailed it, and it just got better and better as the story progressed, adding new characters, adding a storyline that wove the stories of those characters so well together to bring a ending that something I did not expect, and a choice that you have to make at the end that really gives you an idea of what kind of people live in this world, in this area. Also, a side note, this dinner scene, I was on the edge of my seat this entire time, just knowing where these characters are going and how they kind of interact and how they all connect to each other enthralled me the entire time. Ending the game with the surprise appearance of Yennefer, if you went for that ending that is, put a cherry on the top of the sundae. Thinking about living the rest of your days on a vineyard with her bookended a perfect playthrough for this game. I fell in love with that ending, and that is my ending to Geralt's story. So my final thoughts on The Witcher 3. Putting more than 100 hours into this game puts it into my top games of all time, probably cracking my top 10 at least. The character development is amazing, the acting is phenomenal, and the world design is almost unrivaled, with the minor weaknesses with the actual combat and some control issues that you can run into with the world. It is a top tier RPG that if you're late to the party, please give it a try. Even now, even after 5 years of it being out, it is still worth you putting in the time to play this game. You will not be disappointed. This game gives me so much confidence in CD Projekt Red and for Cyberpunk 2077 that it's going to be released 2020 in September. But The Witcher 3, it's a world worth getting lost in and exploring every cave, every town, every camp, and every temple you come across. I want to say thank you for watching my video. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so it's all a learning experience for me, from editing to voiceover and adding little effects and stuff like that. As I make more videos, they're going to get better, a little bit more production to them, and my videos are going to be reviews, video essays, and let's plays. I also stream mostly every day on twitch.tv/BeardandtheHair if you want to go see full playthroughs to the games that are going to be on this channel for let's plays and all the different kind of videos that I'm going to be making. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.